Hi there, my name is Brandy Dunham. I am a counselor here at Angelo State University Counseling Services, and I'm coming to you today to present a psychoeducational presentation on the ways that anxiety can be good for us. This is strictly a psychoeducational presentation, and it is not meant to be used as a form of therapy or substituted for a therapeutic intervention. The subject of today's psychoeducational presentation is how can anxiety be good? When most people hear the word anxiety, it is associated with being bad or an unwanted thing, and anxiety is actually a very important part of our makeup and it serves a distinct purpose. So for today's presentation, we're going to look more at the ways that anxiety serves us well and kind of try to shed that stigma that anxiety is really only a bad or an unwanted experience because it can be good and it is good for us. Before we start with that, let's just kind of evaluate the definition of anxiety. Anxiety is a feeling of worry or nervousness or unease about an event or uncertain outcome and can be characterized by excessive apprehensiveness about a real or perceived threat. The key word here is excessive. This can lead to avoidance behaviors and physical symptoms such as increased heart rate or muscle tension. Not fun things to experience. Anxiety can make work, school, or social interactions difficult and can intervene with our ability to make connections with others and can be physically hard to cope with at times. Obviously, increased heart rate, muscle tension, difficulty breathing, those are not things that we typically see as things that are easy to cope with. So, yeah, and I think that's really what gives anxiety such a bad name, right? So, how can anxiety be a good thing? Well, anxiety is a great source of motivation. For example, if you have a test tomorrow and you have not studied, anxiety can serve as a source of your motivation to study. For example, I don't want to fail that test, so I better prepare. Or I have a paper due tomorrow, so I better get started on that. So it's a great source of motivation for many things, not just in academia, but in our personal lives. It just, gets us up in the morning, it gets us to work. It really helps us achieve our goals. And as long as it's a good, healthy amount of anxiety, it's a really good motivator. Anxiety is also good because it can act as a built-in warning system. Again, anxiety does serve a purpose, so feelings and symptoms of anxiety are part of our innate way of dealing with stressors. Most people have heard of the fight or flight response. Anxiety is meant to protect us from danger and allow us to react faster in emergency type of situations. Anxiety also activates a part of our brain known as the limbic system, and the limbic system is useful in helping us to predict and avoid harm. So it's actually good for us, but it's very needed in those emergency situations, or if there is an imminent threat or danger to us as a person. You really want to have that anxiety. We don't want to be too casual or too calm in those situations. We really do need that fight or flight part to come out. Anxiety is also helpful in social situations and when forming meaningful connections with others. It can help us perform better when we are giving a speech or presentation, as I am doing now. And anxiety can also serve as a social guide and to help us maintain social norms. So how can anxiety be good and helpful in social situations? That's kind of funny whenever we think about there is a disorder called social anxiety disorder, but it's helpful in really having us watch what we say, how we say it, how we present ourselves to others. Those are all things that we need to be cognizant of, and anxiety can help us just perform better again in speeches or presentations and help us present the best version of ourselves for those types of situations. Finally, I would like to make it very clear that when I am talking about anxiety being a good thing, I am talking about healthy anxiety. And that's a healthy amount of anxiety. So an abnormal or excessive amount of anxiety pertaining to things I have spoken about today could be categorized as unhealthy. And if you're experiencing an unhealthy amount of anxiety, please contact a mental health professional. And if you are an ASU student, contact us here at ASU. Counseling services, our phone number is 325-942-2371. You can also do a walk-in Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we'll be happy to see you and help you with any of your needs. Unhealthy anxiety can be, again, we've only talked about healthy anxiety, and healthy anxiety is good anxiety, but an unhealthy amount of anxiety, there are different ways to treat that. One of the ways to treat that would be through talk therapy. My preference being cognitive behavioral therapy. If you were to talk to a therapist here, some of the things you may talk about to help with anxiety would be like diet, exercise, sleep, mindfulness, breathing techniques, other coping skills. Another way to treat anxiety would be through medication. And you can also combine the two and have both talk therapy and medication. And that would be very helpful in treating anxiety. So if you are interested or you need help with your anxiety, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to help. I appreciate your time, and I hope this presentation was helpful. Again, my name is Brandy Denham from Angela State University Counseling Services. Thank you so much.